very good morning to all the students of class 7. How are you all, dear students? I hope you people are good and taking good care of yourself. Dear student, the sentence of the day is, yesterday was a history. Tomorrow will be a mystery. Today is a gift of God. So, which is why we call it present. So I repeat the sentence of the day, that is, yesterday was a history, tomorrow will be a mystery, today is a gift of God. That's why we call it a present. I, Neela Seni, your SST teacher, we were doing the Mughal Empire, which we have completed today. So we will be doing recap and then the key terms and that exercise. So dear students, as we have already done that the Mughals were, who were the Mughals? Babur. Babur in 1526 to 1530 was the first Mughal emperor who became the ruler of Delhi Sultanate and Delhi Empire after defeating Ibrahim Lodi in 1526 at Panipat. And from the later 16th century, the Mughal expanded their kingdom from Agra to Delhi. Agra se Delhi tak next we had that. Until the 17th century, they controlled nearly all the subcontinents. सारे subcontinents को control किया. The legacy led to by the stablement of unparalleled. Now, who were the Mughals? As we had already discussed, the Mughal were the descendants of the two great linkages, that was from mother's side they were from Genghis Khan, and from the father's side they were from Tomars. And from mother's side, Genghis Khan was the ruler over Mughals, that was China, Tibet and Central Africa, and from Tomar ruled over Iran, Iraq, modern days Turkey. Then the family tree of Babur, that was Temur, followed by Prince Miran Shah, then Prince Mahmud, Prince Mehmed, then Sultan Abu Sayyid, followed by Umar Sheikh Mirza. Then the Babur, who was the founder of the Mughal Empire. As we know that he was the founder of the Mughal Empire. But the Mughals never wanted to be known by the name of Genghis Khan, so they never told like that, because he was a killer and a very cruel ruler, and that's why they never wanted to be known as Genghis Khan's disciples. Now coming up to another thing, that the Genghis Khan was associated with masons of innovative persons. अब उसके बाद हम लोगों ने किया था that how the rules were going. First the Babur, then the Humayun, then Sher-Shah Suri in the between, then came the Akbar, Jahangir, then came Shah Jahan, then Aurangzeb. So these were the disciples of the Mughal Empire. Now talking about the military campaigning. How was their military campaigning? That you all know that they collected the taxes from the peasants. Now Bahadur Shah Babur was the first Mughal ruler. Babur was the first Mughal ruler who ruled from 1526 to 1530. Then came the Humayun from 1530 to 1540. In between came the Sher Shah Suri, and then 1555 to 1556. Then the Akbar. Akbar ruled from 1556 to 1606. Then Jahangir 1605 to 1627. Shah Jahan 1627 to 1658. Aurangzeb 1658 to 1707. So these were the deciphered down the military rule. Babur, after defeating Ibrahim Lodi, captured Panipat after defeating the Battle of Panipat in 1526, took over Delhi to Agra. Then Humayun captured Delhi back in 1555. Then Akbar captured Chittor in 1568. Then Ranthambore in 1669. Then the Gujarat, Bihar, Bengal, Kashmir in 1585 to 1605. Jahangir took campaign against Sikh and Ahois. Sher Shah Suri campaigned Ahmednagar and Bijapur. Aurangzeb walked. Aurangzeb waged a long battle in the Deccan. He waged a very long battle in Deccan. Now coming up to the Mughal traditions and successes. The Mughals did not believe in the rule of the Pygmy. I've already told you they did not believe in the rule of the Parimoculture. Parimoculture means that the eldest son inherited his father's estate. He never wanted that. So he was against that the eldest son will take over the estate. Instead, they followed the Mughals and the Tamil custom of कि उन्होंने वो कैप्चर किया कि भाई eldest son नहीं बनेगा, all the sons जितने भी हैं they are the higher, so they should get the state equally. Now next is the Mughal relations with other rulers. They had a good relations with other rulers also, because Rajputs themselves said told them that we will be coming with you voluntarily, and many other rulers also liked their rules, so they told them that they will be joining them. Ruled campaigns constantly against the rulers who refused to accept their authority. But as the Mughal became powerful, many other rulers also joined them voluntarily. The Rajputs are the good examples of them. They joined them voluntarily. अपने आप से उन्होंने कहा कि हम लोग आपको join करेंगे, because they like their rules. And the Mughals gave mansans and the jagirs, which helped them to expand their territories. The main source of incomes of the Mughals were the peasants. Whatever they produced, peasants produced, that was their main source of taxes. Now coming up to the Mansabads and the Jagirdars. What was the Mansabads and the Jagirdars? As the empire expanded to encompass different religions, the Mughal rescued divided bodies of people from a small nucleus of Turkish nobles. They expanded to include, in accents, India, Muslims, Afghanistan, Rajputs, Marathas and other groups. In सबको join करना था. Now the term Murshidabad refers to an individual who holds the mansab, or means a position of rank, एक position of rank जो hold करता है. It was the grading system. It was a grading system used for the Mughals to fix their rank, salary and military responsibilities. एक fixed amount कर दिया था इन सब को कि उनके बारे में military के बारे में rules के बारे में जानने के लिए. The Munsab military responsibilities required him to maintain the specific number of savars or the cavalrymen. The Mansabad brought his cavalrymen to reviews, got them registered their horse, banded, and then received money from the payment of the salary. Salaries की payment से उनको receive की जाती थी उनकी money. Now coming up to the what was the Zabat and the Zamindars. Zabat and Zamindars ka the main source of income available to Mughal rulers were the taxes produced by the peasants. The most places peasants paid taxes through the ruling elites that the headman or the local chiefman. The Mughals used one term, that is zamindar, to describe all intermediates, whether they were local headmans or villages or powerful chiefs. Akbar review ministers today Mall carried out a careful survey of crop yields, prices and areas cultures for the 10 years period 1570 to 1580. This was all about this. Then now this is each province was divided into revenue circles with its own schedules of revenues, rates to include individual crops. This revenue system was known as zabat. जो एक revenue fix कर देते थे individual पे, that was zabat. एक की भी fixed revenue है, इतना ही तुमने revenue या tax pay करना है. That was known as zabat. Now this was all about the zabat and the zamindars, and now coming up to the Akbar's policies. Now Akbar worked as a founder of the Akbarnama. Akbarnama was a book, 3-volume book written by a very great friend of Akbar, that was a close friend, that was Abul Fazl. Abul Fazl wrote the Akbarnama. Akbarnama divided its kingdom into provinces called Sabas, groomed by the Subedars. Akbar nobles commanded large armies and had succeeded to large amount of revenues. While Akbar was at Fatehpur Sikri and started a discussion on religion with the Brahmins, Jewish priests who were Romans, Catholics and Zoroastrians. He described that actually he did not like, there were two systems, that was, one was the Dograman and other was biogamy. Dograman was the statement or an interpretation determined as authorities with the expansion that it would be followed into questions without questioning. मतलब कुछ question ही पूछेंगे और करेंगे. और biogamy was an individual who is intolerant of another person's religious beliefs or culture. जो की tolerance नहीं है other के beliefs और culture के बारे में. तो अकबर realized that those religious scholars emphasize 3 चीज़ों पे करते थे वो, rituals पे, dogmans पे and biogods पे. So he was against this. Now, how was the Mughals in 16th and 17th century? So the administration of the military influenced of the Mughal empire led to great economy and commercial prosperity. Commercial और economic prosperity हुई थी इस टाइम पे बहुत ज़्यादा. The Mughal Empire and their Murshidabad spent a great deal of their income on salaries and goods. This expansion believed the artisans and peasants who supplied them with goods and products, जो goods और products है उनको provide करते थे. अब now they were the primary producers. Primary producers कौन थे? The peasants and the artisans. And the secondary producers थे जो थे वो थे the toolers and the जो who made the tools and the supplied to the increased productivities. Increased productivities जो करते थे. They were the peasants. Now we have completed this chapter. Now we will be doing the key terms of the chapter. The key terms of the chapter are only two. One is dogman. Dogman is a statesman or an interpretation declared as authoritarians with the expansion that it would be followed without questioning. बिना क्वेश्चन किए फॉलो किए जाएंगे. Second is dogat, bigot. Bigot is a individual who is, first was dogmat, second is bigot. Bigot, an individual who is intolerance of others, personality, relations, belief or culture. Now coming up to the map on page 50, then we have to mark Kashmir, Kandhar. I'll write the thing on the map. Kashmir, then the Kandhar, Chittor, Malwa, Gujarat, Raipur, Golconda, Bengal, Patna. This is to be marked in the map and stick it in your notebook. And you don't have to send your homework anywhere. Whenever you will be given the homework, the school authorities will inform you when you have to give this homework. Thank you and have a nice day.